Hi friends, Emily here again to continue part 2 of my How I Color African Skin Tones with Copic markers video, and we are into doing her hair now, and I'm going to do a little bit of her dress and show you what I'm doing. Again, this is the Global Beauties book by Damita Victoria. This is Amazon paper, and in the previous video I showed you how I did her gorgeous skin tone with 4 Copic markers, just 4 individual markers. I also did it with the same skin on this gorgeous girl, which is a Deborah Muller printable. Same 4 colors I used in her skin. Looks a little different when it's large scale versus small scale. This was like a Etsy printable type paper, which is like a Nina paper. So, but the same technique I want you to see can work in the Amazon paper. So, and I used simply 4 colors, a blonde, a pink blush, a dark brown, this medium brown, and this light brown. These are all the colors I used for the skin tone on these 2 girls. You can find all of those linked below in the previous video if you want to purchase those markers individually to practice your ethnic skin tone skills for African skin. So what I'm going to do for her hair, I want to go lighter because I want her skin to pop out. So I want to bring out some of these lighter areas in her neck that are more like the gold kind of brown here and here and here that I showed you the technique how I got that. I want those colors kind of be in her hair. So I'm actually going to use my Winsor Newton markers, pro markers. These are very high quality artist markers. I have the Winsor Newtons. I guess it's like the box set, the one that's like, it's like 36 or 40. And then I discovered not long after that there's a set double that size. And I was like, well, I'm not going to buy that one now because it's going to also include the colors I have. But then I wanted all the colors that was missing. So I went to Blick, and on blick.com you can buy, there's a list of all their colors. You can buy them all individually. So I've been buying them about 10 at a time as I can afford them. They're probably about, I guess there might be about $5-7 a piece. I bought a whole bunch of browns because I like to do a lot of earth tones and skin tones. So I simply chose 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, and 6 different browns to do in her hair. And I tested them all out on this piece of paper. Like I'll test each one and I'll lay them down on the table in order for what I test them, and I'll pick the darkest, and then I can visualize darkest to lightest, how the blending is going to work, and I'll rearrange how I lay them out on the table left to right based on the order I want to use them. So I just kind of want to do a little bit of everything and see what happens, which usually I use about 4 colors in hair. I may or may not use all 6. I want it to kind of look like she's done a whole lot of different things with her hair at different times. So I'm going to start with this deep mocha, which is the darker one. And this isn't like the greatest way to do the greatest layout of type of hair. And doing African hair is kind of hard, not really my specialty, but I'm going to just outline I'm going to do her center part. And I'm just going to kind of go over some of these sketch lines, I guess you could say, with this darkest one. We're just working one section at a time. I'm just doing the top. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, trying to do all of these. Go over that dark again, and we'll end up doing that again. And then I'm going to make her roots darker, so I'm going to actually color all around her face just a little bit with this dark. Now this isn't, you could even do a black. This is a dark brown. So I'm just doing that. Then I'm going to make it look like her roots are coming down a little each way from that part. I'm going to come out. I'm going to come out again this way. Then I'm going to go to my next brown I've chosen in order, which is really called Chestnut. And I'm going to blend over that and work upward, kind of like I did with the skin. This has more of a reddish tint almost. And we're going to kind of go in like this a little. Blend that in while it's still wet and then go over what you did. I am working pretty quickly because it dries pretty fast on this paper. You can even go over some of the squiggle lines with this kind of red color. Kind of rudimentary, but there you go. Let's go to our third color I've chosen in order, which is this coffee color. I'm going to start working that one upward, blending that down and over to the left. Kind of like, it's like closing in the space, like I said with my skin tone here. And we're going to go upward. These are great markers. You get a lot of control, very fine, sturdy, hard nib, not like the Copics, which are soft and brush-like. I'm going to go over some of these areas also with this color. All right, let's go to our next, which is the fourth color I have, which is the hazelnut. For that, I think I'm going to switch to the chisel nib and just start closing that in some more and go over the colors we did. Let's close it in, bring it up, cover a little bit more white space with each color and go over your previous colors so they all look like they naturally blend. The chisel together. The chisel nibs are a little harder to keep control of. All right, we have our fifth color, which is the saddle brown. I'm going to go back to the fine point. Close in that color some more. Leave some white toward the ends. Don't know if I'm going to like the last color I chose or not. We're about to find out. If I don't, I'll go back over it. And then lastly, this is a very pale, like a beige. It's called Light Pecan. Might be too light, but I think it looks like it's going to work. The thing I like to do with hair is kind of make it look like light hits it in different areas. I try to make it look like, like most of us, right? We've dyed our hair a bazillion times probably and changed the colors of it to where now it's even, it's when light hits different areas, it always looks like a little bit of a different shade. So this one has a little goldish red to it, which I like. We're gonna back up to like the third color we used to kind of close in right there. We did those kind of squiggle lines. Close it in a little. So then I'm gonna go back to my first original, my darkest one. And I might even want to use a black, which I might still do. And I'm going to see if I can make her part darker. Yes, I can. I'm going to go back around the face just a little, outline it. All right, perfectamundo. So now, which direction do we go? I'm leaning toward... I like to keep the lighter tips are at the end, so we always go darkest at the top of the head and go down the gradient down lighter. So we're going to take our dark and start this process over again, starting from where we left off. So I'm going to go over kind of these squiggly lines, fill in kind of some of the open little shapes. Some of these you can actually fill in if it makes a full shape. Okay, I'm just going to do a little time. We're going to also, well, I don't know, we really need to outline. Yeah, I think I'm going to outline the edge of her hair with this dark one. Just so we don't see that black sketch line. Just doing a little for now. We're going to kind of go outward with it from that where we left off that last part of her hair. All right. Okay, let's get our second brown we have in line. Keep these in order, which is the chestnut. I think the chestnut give it a nice undertone of like an orangish red, which I liked. Okay, I'm just gonna bring that down. I mean, it's kind of experimental, like getting a feel for it. I might okay, let's get our third brown, which is the coffee. Let's bring down some of this. Probably on these bigger areas you should use the chisel nib, which I should be doing. And the fourth color, I guess I will use the chisel nib, and that is the hazelnut. Now, we didn't get all these. We want to kind of stop here because we want to start over with the darks again with these squiggle kind of lines. So that's kind of where I'm stopping. But I want to get to my fifth color. I want to blend in a little. We're going to go back over some of this. We're blending this over everything here. We're almost just going to go right on over. So I didn't do the lightest. I'm going to go back to the darkest dark again, which is the deep mocha, and start filling in some of these shapes so we can bring that color down. You can go over the ones you did. Every artist is different, so the hair could be fully defined with strands, like the Deborah Muller ones, which I love doing those. This one is just kind of like a big open white space, so it's a little trickier to get it to have like some dimension to it without actual strands. It's a little difficult. Okay, we got that dark all over. Let's get in here to our second color and go over those kind of squiggle lines, and we're just bringing the color outward. Until it all fills together. See how I'm doing that? Go back over and then pull it out so you're covering a little more white space. And yes, your hand's going to get tired as I keep shaking my hand out. All right, let's get our third color, which is the coffee. I'm actually going to go to the chisel nib, which is a little harder to control. And I'm just kind of squiggling it in, if that makes sense, like close in the colors. Actually, I need to switch to the finer nib, which is not working as well. I'm leaving a lot of white space, though, for the other colors. Okay. Oh, shoot. Was that the third or the fourth color? I think that was the third. Fourth color, right, is the hazelnut. We will go to the chisel nib. Start covering up some more of that white. Just a little, because we still have 2 more colors. I want to get the saddle brown, which is the 5th color. Just going back over some of these areas. And I'm going to bring that lightest color, which is that light pecan, to get the white areas and to kind of blend. And you can actually use the chisel nib and just go over everything you did and try to blend that color. I'm actually going to then get this, the one I did prior to this, the second lightest. And I'm going to grab that one, the one we did prior to that, which is the saddle brown. I'm going to blend with that to all these colors. Around her face. I'm going to leave that lighter area in some of those spots. I'm going to come all the way up here with that almost second to lightest color and go over everything to deepen up and richen the color and smooth out all those tones. So the multi-color tones are like an underlayer once you go over it with the final color. You don't want to go over it with over the whole thing with the darkest color, because then you're going to see all those different tones, if that makes sense. So you want it to be your lightest or second to lightest color. I did get a little on the sky, but I'll have to fix that. Perfectamundo. Let me get that dark one again to re-outline where the top part of her hair kind of stopped that we did earlier. To kind of define that, I'm going to go over her part again because it's needs several layers. We can use this darkest to redefine a few of these squigglies. As a top layer. All right. You get the gist how I did that. And basically, you know, we're just going to repeat the same thing on the other side. You want to take your darkest and put a little more line, go back over some of the lines, the ones around her forehead. And then I'm going to get my lightest, which was that light pecan. I'm going to go over the whole top of her head. It's kind of like a blender, which will darken it a little, but you'll still see the light. Her hair has like this lovely orangish, goldish red color, but you can still see the black hairs in it. It's okay. There we go. To really deepen up that part, you can take your black Sharpie carefully and lightly. Go over it just a little bit. So it's not too obvious. There we go. For her eyebrows, and I'm going to repeat what I did here and there on this side, so you don't have to watch for that. You'll see the final look. But for her eyebrows, you can do any of the colors. I'm going to do because her skin is so dark, you want to do a little lighter. So I'm going to start with like my reddish one, which was the second color, the chestnut. And do a little bit of the inside, the outside of each eyebrow. And then I'm going to get a couple of the lighter colors. Bring in into the a little more. And to the second to lightest, which is that saddle brown. I mean, you could do them black if you like. You generally want it to kind of match the hair. So that's just my preference. You could go right over that with a black Sharpie if you want to do black eyebrows. That's certainly a possibility. I mean, I could do it just to show you, but right now I'm trying to keep them the same color as her hair. We are going to need the Sharpie for her eyes and a few other things. So let me zoom in so you can kind of see how this hair is looking so far. So you can see this is a lot of work. It's progress, but look at that hair. It's got all these different shades to it, like hair that's been, you know, dyed and lightened and dyed again, and the original hair is showing through, and now the light's hitting it, and that's how I like to do hair. So I'm gonna finish that off camera, but let's do a little bit of her dress, and I'm gonna use my favorite set in all the world that's very affordable, my Sharpies, because it's great for things that have blocks and lines and simple circles and shapes, because it's nice, deep, thick, rich ink, and it lasts forever. These markers last forever. So this is one of my favorite sets I've had for a long time. I've replaced it a couple of times with some supplementary smaller sets, but I can link that below if you're interested. I think I'm going to do some oranges, reds, yellows, and purple in her dress. So I'm going to go with like a traditional, some different oranges here. I'm just going to pull anything that looks like it has the oranges and reds in it. Maybe the lighter orange. We want to pull some of the yellow tones and maybe a really light yellow tone. We're just gonna maybe I'll just do the flowers purple. Not quite sure. No rhyme or reason. You can kind of give it a quick visual and be like, you know, you want the yellow, you want her dress to be pale yellow with all the stripes and those things popping out in color, or vice versa. Sometimes I'm not sure and I just start. I'm not even really sure what I want to do now, but let's just say we're going to do her whole dress in yellow because her hair is yellow. So let's test to make sure this is a good yellow. I think it's good. So for example, we want to do yellow inside here. And you can even make each section a different shade. Or it can be one color. This one's like more of like a gold yellow. Let's do it down here. Sometimes I just don't know until it comes together how I want it to look. Let's take our red. I think we should put in some red stripes right off the bat. That will help me figure out what other colors to do. Really vibrant, rich colors for, I think, this sort of African dress style. And maybe we want to do, see, it's tough. Like I'm torn between each open section doing a different color and all red stripes. You could do almost anything here. Let's just grab an orange and I'm just gonna wing this whole thing. Geez, it's really hard when there's so many choices. I think I'm gonna do stripes, red, orange, red, orange. This is a dark orange. It doesn't look that different than the red. So there are some other oranges to choose from. And I will finish her hair off camera. And then the final video, I'll show you her makeup and we'll do the flowers and you'll see the final dress when I come into this third video. I'm going to finish this dress off camera. And I am going to use some Prismacolor pencil to touch up some stuff with her skin as well. So once I've used a color, I set it aside because I want to use all the color so I know what I still have left. I'm thinking this really pretty kind of apricot-y color should go maybe in between. The thing is with Sharpies, they do tend to look darker on paper than they look on the barrel. Be aware. And Sharpies are fantastic on Amazon paper or any paper. I've never ever been disappointed. They do look a little more vibrant on the Express or Nina paper than on Amazon paper. That part is true. Let's repeat this pattern down here. I might bring some, I think I'm going to bring some purple into her dress in this part, and then purple in the flowers, because you want to bring your background colors into your focal point object in a picture. All right, and I'll just put that purple on there so you can see how that's going to look. Just a little more so you guys can see what I'm doing. I think we should go in with this more, is it more of a brown? I need like more of a yellow. Let's see what we have here. Ooh, the lime green. That would look good too. Let's try out this lime green. Ooh, I like that. I think we should do that lime green in the center. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this lime green. It's just looking more and more like a retro 1960s dress, but I think it will suffice also. African. Oh no, this one's getting almost dried out. Why didn't I test this ahead of time? You know better, Emily. You just have to do little squiggles. You don't want it to streak. Until you fill it in and then go back over it. And Sharpies don't streak, but I just don't like the sound of this long scratching back and forth. Oh, that's going to look pretty though. And just go back over some others, look a little more white, and then it'll dry evenly. And I often go back over Sharpies with pencils also. Okay, that's kind of wet. I wanted to do this lighter yellow. I'm pulling here for around it, maybe. It's more of a lime yellow. See, this looks like a pale yellow. Look how it is on the paper. It's like a lime yellow. So the colors on Sharpies are not what they look like, especially on Amazon paper. But I know it's in the same color family that I'm looking for, so it's all right. I do want a bright yellow though, so I'm gonna have to get a different brand. I want a popping bright yellow. Darn. See, if I knew that was going to be that green, I would not have done it there. Like I said, I'm totally winging it. Here's another yellow. Let's try this one. Yeah, that one looks just as lime-ish. All right. You know, it's all good. Progress, not perfection. You can go back over it with a yellow pencil. It'll lighten it up. Non c'è problema. Okay. All right. I just wanted you all to see my process, how I get the final pictures you end up seeing in what I colored last month video. So that's not so bad. Let's take this orange and do this. So for, you want to do contrasting colors. You see how quick you can get a picture done when you use Sharpies. I'm actually going to do here as well. Need to get some purple in there. Pretty. I'm going to do, I have another orange here we can try. I haven't pulled yet. See how this looks. Ooh. Or should I put the purple there? Choices! I think I'm going to put the purple there. Let me grab my purple Sharpie. I think this is going to look good for the purple right here. Yes. Yes, it is. I am so smart. This looks like a dress I would want to wear because I love color. And after I finish just this other side, I'll stop and then I will show you how I use these same colors to finish the dress and her hair. And then you will see part 3. I did make some boo-boos in her eyes. I'm going to try to fix it. Got some blue on a brown skin on the white iris, the white area of her eyes. Also just went over the line. I went too fast on the border, but I can fix that right here. Or not. Sharpies are hard, don't blend very well. All right. Good. Goody gumdrop. So what I'm also going to do is I'm going to do, I think, the purples down here and there and here and work my way out. So this was a really fun picture to work on and show you guys. I hope you learned something about the African skin tones and kind of that style of hair. I will finish it and you will see in part 3 my completed dress and hair, and then we'll work a little on the face and the background. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video.